Hey guys, and welcome to the deck list of the Burn deck. Let's get started already. Alright, so first we move on to our first evolution. This is actually not the main attacker, so it's a little different from when I started the first time. Although these aren't the main attackers, these are some backup attackers. And it's a low disruption energy cost. Plus, they do pretty good damage for a 2-card GX. Now these four are used for Typhlosion's really destructive capabilities. Like, a stage 2 is really hard to set up, but especially when Typhlosion is worth it. This is the reason why this deck has the highest amount of solo energies out of everybody. And that's just the reason why the flame energies just need to go through. Every time you discard a flame energy, it does extra damage, and it's a substantial amount of damage too. Though I would like more ChillQuillz and Typhlosions to match the Kulava count, but having two Kulavas is good to make it at least a little bit more stable, and it's a good trash card for a new one that's going to be coming up in a little bit. These are probably the weakest link out of the Burn deck, because really it's used for solar power, which ignores the energies for the attack, for the next attack of any fire or grass Pokemon, but this is a fire, so it can be used on the fire deck, and that's what it's only used for. It's used for devastating combo by Typhlosion, Larvesta, or for the next people that's going to be coming up in a little bit. This is more trash cards than it is actual attackers, but they really help when going against more faster decks, because it's a 2-card evolution with 3 energies, which is a little bit, but it's okay. Now, Mawile, this is used for getting in 2 very strong Pokemon that I will show you next. That's literally all it's used for. It's not used for anything else. So these cards actually have been added after one of the most influential cards in this deck has been put in, because it uses dark energies. And we was thinking, if that card is prize card, what are we going to use the dark energies for? So this is just a dark attacker, just in case anything happens. But that's really it. This is also one of the cards we use if that one card is prize card or is knocked out. Then we can use the psychic energies for these, which we only have 3 or 4. We only have 4 in the deck, but it's a good buffer card. Now this is what Mawile searches for mostly. This and one other. This is probably the newest card out of the decks that we just got, and the energy burst attack, especially in a 4-player situation, which we use everybody's active Pokemon, it is insane, especially since my Pokemon or any others have such high energy costs. This really just knocks them out really fast. Like, it just adds up. Now this is the main card. This is the main attacker, what we always use to search for. The Violent Appetite ability helps its sustainability. Chaotic Order is really nice. This is why we have the specials for that. And it just closes games really fast. Jet Pierce does 180, which one-shots almost everybody, and it's insane what this card can do, especially since it heals, which is what some of the other more garbage cards are for, just to heal this up. And it gets out in like 2 or 3 turns. It charges up like 2 or 3 turns after that, and it's just works so well. Now these are the only special energies inside of this deck. The counter energy can work, but it doesn't work on GX or EX. And the horror energy is pretty good. A Professor Oak is so helpful when you just got nothing in your hand, especially since we got energy retrievals. So if it's just energies, it's easy. This surprisingly works very well. It's a less stronger version of Misty, but it can be versatile. We just like to gamble. And a lot of times, you're getting tails. It'd be hilarious. Again, these are so helpful, especially when you have such a strong Pokemon that you can one-shot almost anything with. And then you don't even have to go through GXs. You can just use the GX attack and get 2 prize cards. It's amazing. Bill is just a good card to have. This, I never see him really using it. So maybe we got, honestly, switch this out with something. But as of right now, I don't think so. Switches are always amazing. Like, you'll be so surprised. Now, there's a recycle in his deck, but there's not in mine, which kind of sucks. But it's so useful because you just get any card back, and usually we get the search your Pokemon cards, which makes it so it makes it even more easier to get out useful Pokemon. This is that energy retrieval, like I was saying. It's 2 energies, which I always like, and it puts it into your hand. This is just useful, especially in conjunction with Recycle. Now, Sophocles is actually one of the newer cards added to his deck. And oh, I just realized Ken Sugimori drew this. It's nice. Anyway, it helps drawing 4 cards. You go +2 in hand count, so that's always well. And it just kind of works. Erica, we honestly threw in here because it was a fun thing, and you draw 3 cards. And when we're playing 4 players, everybody's drawing 3 cards, which means answers to everything, and it really makes the game crazy. This is the counter energy somebody when we energy remove him, which, you know, the main target of our energy removals is definitely his Naganadel, which we call Rainbow. Another way to get Naganadel and Guzzlord out. And it's just, like I said, it helps when denying prize cards. Switch, always a good thing. Now this we use as a pseudo switch. It kind of helps, but sometimes it just doesn't work out because it's just dead. But it works sometimes. Now, I run a lot of fighting energies also for this card too, because he puts out the stadium card and then uses it to draw the cards from his fire energies. But I also don't like him drawing cards, so I also use the stadium card to counteract this, to knock it out of play. It really helps though, getting out all the cards you need. Revives are always good, especially when we finally knock out Rainbow, and then he just revives it. It sucks. This is one of the best disruption cards like I have in his deck, because it's so annoying. The burn deck just uses it to counteract you going against it, and it just shuffles you all the way up. You might have everything you need, and then all of a sudden, peeking red card. It's annoying. Now, the energy spinner is actually really good, especially when we're choosing turns, and he's like, I want to go second, and nobody knows why. Well, I've caught on now, but the other players usually don't know why. And he pulls this out, and we're just like, that's 3 energies on his best card already. He literally has the potential to win after 3 turns. And then if that's not enough, we also have just a basic energy search to start to charge up the GX attack too. Or just use other dark or psychic searches, because fire comes up very frequently. It's actually funny we have this, and I was thinking about putting this in my other deck that we may do next, but this just used to skip from Cyndaquil to Typhlosion, which is funny because you don't need the Kulavas, which I have 2 of, but consistency, I guess, right? And the Great Ball is just useful. Like, honestly, it's just useful. By the way, if it's not 60 cards, it's probably because we're missing some. Because I usually, like, put it down somewhere and then forget it's there. So, we'll probably find it if it's not 60 cards. And that goes for any of my 4 decks. Now you guys see why this is called the burn deck. It is my best deck that I've made. And it deals so much damage so fast. And it just... This is why I target this deck the first when we start playing. If it's 4-player. Or when I go against it, I use all my disruption tools as early as possible. It is so good. But, now that this deck is done, let's focus on our next deck, which will be the Inteleon deck. I like to call it Inteleon because it's actually made from an Inteleon thing, and I just edited it, and I just added this Slowpoke inside that tag team. I put it at the top because it makes me recognize which one is which easier, and it looks nice. But really, it's just amazing